This introduction follows a calm, permission-based template designed to gently loosen attention rather than capture it. It is meant to be heard once or not fully heard at all. Nothing in this introduction requires effort, focus, or memory. It exists only to create a sense of safety and ease before rest naturally unfolds. As you begin listening, you may notice that there is no need to sit or lie in any special way. There is no posture to hold and nothing to correct. If your body wishes to shift or settle, it may do so. If your mind wishes to wander, that is welcome too. You are not being asked to follow a story closely, to remember details, or to stay awake. You are simply invited to rest in the sound of a voice that is here to keep you company for you. There is no goal to reach and no finish line ahead. The words you hear are not instructions you must follow, but gentle suggestions, offered like images drifting by a window. You may notice your breathing without needing to change it, simply aware that each breath arrives on its own and leaves on its own, much like the tide meeting the shore and then quietly receding. As the night continues to settle around you, you may begin to sense that there is nothing left to manage or solve. The hours behind you have already passed, and the hours ahead do not yet require your attention. This moment stands quietly on its own, complete just as it is. You might imagine that you are setting down something you have been carrying for a long time. Not with any effort, but simply because there is no longer a reason to hold it. The weight eases from your hands, and your shoulders respond without being asked, loosening in their own time. Your breathing continues, steady and unforced. Each inhale arrives gently, filling space the way warm air fills a room at dusk. Each exhale leaves slowly, like a sigh that has been waiting patiently to be released. There is no need to make the breath deeper or slower. It already knows what to do. As you rest here, you may notice how the surface beneath you offers quiet support. Whether it is a bed, a chair, or the floor, it holds you without comment. There is nothing you need to adjust. Gravity does its work kindly, allowing your body to settle exactly where it is meant to be. Thoughts may still appear, as thoughts often do. You do not need to push them away or follow them to their conclusions. You might imagine them as leaves floating along a stream, passing by without asking for your attention. Each one drifts out of view on its own. If at any point you stop listening to the words and begin to drift, that is perfectly fine. You do not need to hear every sentence. The sound of the voice itself is enough, like the low hum of a familiar place at night. And if you notice yourself waking again, you may simply return to listening, without judging where you have been. There is a sense now that time is becoming less important. Minutes and hours no longer need to be counted. The night stretches comfortably without edges. You are not late, and nothing is waiting for you. Everything that matters has already been taken care of. You may become aware of small sensations, perhaps the warmth of a blanket, or the coolness of air on your skin. These details do not demand attention. They are simply there, quiet companions in the background. Your body responds naturally, softening where it can, releasing where it is ready. If you like, you might imagine that your awareness is gently stepping back, the way one steps away from a window after watching the last light fade from the sky. What remains is a calm interior space, dimly lit, peaceful and familiar. There is no need to decide when sleep will come. Sleep has its own timing, and it does not require effort or invitation. It arrives the way evening arrives, gradually and without announcement. And even if sleep does not come right away, rest is already happening. The words you hear may begin to feel farther apart now, with more space between them. Silence may appear briefly, like pauses in music that feel just as important as the notes themselves. In these spaces, your mind can rest even more deeply. You are allowed to let go here. As your body continues to rest, you may begin to notice a subtle shift taking place, one that does not require your effort or attention. It is the kind of change that happens naturally, like the way daylight slowly gives way to evening without any clear moment when one becomes the other. Your thoughts, which may have felt close and detailed before, can now begin to feel a little farther away. Not gone, not pushed aside, simply less demanding. They soften as if viewed through a gentle haze, their edges blurring until they no longer ask to be followed. You might imagine that you are standing at the edge of a quiet space, neither fully awake nor fully asleep. This space feels safe and familiar, even if you have never noticed it before. It is a place you pass through every night, though you rarely remember the crossing. Breathing continues on its own, steady and unremarkable. Each breath moves like a slow wave, rolling in and then retreating, leaving behind a sense of ease. There is no need to count, no rhythm to maintain. The body knows this pattern well, having practiced it countless times before. The sense of time begins to loosen here. Moments stretch gently, no longer measured or tracked. The idea of before and after fades into the background, replaced by a simple feeling of being present, without urgency or direction. You may notice that your awareness feels lighter now, less anchored to any single thought or sensation. It drifts the way a feather might drift through still air, moving without effort, guided by currents you do not need to understand. If images arise, they may do so quietly, perhaps the suggestion of a dimly lit path, or the impression of mist forming in the distance. These images do not need to be held clearly. They are not scenes to study, but impressions that come and go, like reflections on water. You might sense a doorway nearby, not a physical door with edges and handles, but a feeling of transition. It represents nothing more than a gentle change in awareness. There is no need to decide whether to cross it. Simply being near it is enough. As you remain here, the world around you feels quieter. Sounds, if there are any, seem softer and more distant. They blend into the background, losing their ability to pull you outward. What remains is an inward calm, steady and untroubled. Your body continues to respond in its own way. Muscles release further, not all at once but gradually, as if learning that they are no longer needed for holding or doing. The face softens. The jaw rests. Even the small muscles around the eyes ease their grip. There is no task waiting for you on the other side of this moment. Nothing to prepare for. Nothing to anticipate. The night holds you in a wide open stillness, one that does not ask for explanation. You may become aware of spaces between thoughts now, small pauses where nothing happens at all. These pauses are not empty. They are restful, like clearings in a forest where light filters through gently, offering a place to stop without needing a reason. In these quiet spaces, awareness can settle deeper. It does not fall or drop suddenly. Instead, it lowers gradually, the way snow settles on the ground, softening everything it touches. If at any point you find that the words fade completely and sleep takes their place, you may allow that to happen. There is no need to return. And if you remain lightly aware, listening without effort, that is equally welcome. The threshold you are crossing is not a boundary you must step over. It is more like a blending, where wakefulness and sleep overlap for a while, sharing the same gentle rhythm. Here nothing is sharp or defined. Everything is allowed to be a little unclear. You may sense now that you are being carried not by anything specific, but by the natural movement of rest itself. It supports you quietly, asking nothing in return. And as this sense of drifting continues, the need to understand where you are, or what comes next, begins to dissolve. What matters is already present. You are here resting, and that is enough. As awareness continues to soften, you may find yourself noticing a change that feels less like a decision and more like an arrival. Without needing to remember how you got here, there is the sense of being somewhere calm and familiar, a place that seems to have been waiting patiently. The air feels cool and fresh, touched lightly by evening rain. Not a heavy rain, but the kind that falls steadily, each drop landing with a soft, unhurried sound. The ground beneath your feet feels solid and dependable, as though it has known many nights like this before and remembers exactly how to hold them. You are moving at an easy pace along a narrow village path. There is no rush to reach any destination. Each step feels natural, guided by a quiet confidence that you are exactly where you need to be. The stone beneath you is darkened by rain, its surface smooth from years of weather and time, reflecting small glimmers of warm light. On either side of the path, cottages rest closely together, their walls built of pale stone that seems to glow gently against the darker sky. Windows shine softly, lit from within, offering a sense of welcome without calling for attention. Curtains are drawn partway, and behind them life continues at a peaceful, unremarkable pace. The rain carries a rhythm that feels soothing rather than distracting. It taps lightly against rooftops and leaves, a sound that blends easily into the background. You do not need to listen closely to it. It is enough to know that it is there, steady and reliable. As you walk, your body responds in quiet ways. Shoulders hang loosely. Hands rest comfortably at your sides or tucked into the warmth of a coat. Your breath moves gently in and out, warming the cool air as it leaves, then inviting freshness back in. There is a faint scent of earth and stone, mixed with the suggestion of wood smoke carried from nearby chimneys. The smell is comforting, reminding you of evenings spent indoors while weather unfolds outside. It brings with it a sense of belonging, as though this village recognizes you, even if you have never been here before. Without effort, your attention drifts from one simple detail to another. The way light spills onto the path, the quiet strength of the building standing calmly in the rain, the feeling of being sheltered even before you reach shelter. Ahead, you notice a small inn set back slightly from the path. Its door is solid and welcoming, framed by soft light that spills outward into the night. The sight of it brings an easy sense of relief, not because you were tired or cold, but because it feels good to know that a warm place is ready for you. As you approach, the sounds of the rain soften further, cushioned by the surrounding stone. You pause briefly, not out of hesitation but simply to take in the moment. The village behind you rests quietly, content to let the night continue at its own pace. Inside, the inn is calm and unhurried. The air is warmer here, carrying the faint aroma of tea and polished wood. A fire glows somewhere nearby, its presence felt more than heard, offering warmth that spreads gently through the space. You move slowly without needing to think about where to go or what to do. Familiar actions happen naturally. A coat is removed and set aside. Hands are warmed. You settle into a comfortable chair that seems to welcome you with its shape and softness. There is a cup waiting, filled with something warm. You wrap your hands around it, feeling heat seep into your palms, easing any remaining tension. The simple act of holding it feels grounding, like an anchor that keeps everything calm and steady. Around you, the inn remains quiet. No one asks anything of you. There is no conversation to follow, no details to remember. The world has narrowed in a pleasant way, focusing only on warmth, light, and rest. Your body responds to this sense of safety by releasing a little more. Muscles that were holding on begin to let go. Your breathing slows slightly, not because you direct it to, but because there is no longer any reason for it to hurry. The rain continues outside, now a distant companion rather than something to be noticed. It creates a gentle boundary between the inside and the outside, between effort and ease. Within these walls, nothing presses in. Everything that belongs to the night remains outside, handled quietly by the weather and the stone. As you rest here, you may feel that your thoughts have thinned out, leaving more space between them. In that space, there is no need to fill the silence. It is comfortable, like sitting with someone who understands that words are not always necessary. You are free to remain here as long as you like. There is no signal to move on, no expectation of what comes next. The village holds its breath softly, and the inn holds you, offering exactly the amount of comfort you need. And at some point, without noticing exactly when, the warmth and stillness you have been resting in begin to feel larger, as though the quiet itself has opened outward. The sense of shelter remains, but now it carries with it a feeling of spaciousness, a calm that stretches comfortably in every direction. You may sense cool air brushing lightly against your skin, carrying the softness of mist. It is not cold or sharp, only fresh and clean, like air that has traveled slowly over stone and water before reaching you. The world feels hushed, wrapped in a gentle veil that blurs distance and softens sound. Ahead, rising gradually from the mist, stands a stone castle. It does not appear suddenly or dramatically. Instead, it reveals itself little by little, as if allowing your eyes and your mind time to adjust. Its walls are broad and steady, shaped by time rather than urgency. They seem to rest easily in their place, unconcerned with the passing of hours. The path leading toward it is wide and even beneath your feet. Each step feels unremarkable in the best possible way. There is no effort required to move forward, no thought needed about where to place your feet. The ground knows how to support you, just as it has supported countless quiet journeys before this one. The mist moves slowly, drifting across the landscape like a soft breath. It curls gently around the stone, smoothing edges and dimming details. Nothing feels hidden or uncertain. The fog does not obscure. It comforts, turning the world into something simpler and easier to hold. As you approach the castle, the sound of the outside world fades further. If there is wind, it passes without insistence. If there is distant rain, it becomes a faint suggestion, more like memory than sound. What remains is a deep, enveloping quiet that settles around you. The entrance stands open, not as an invitation that must be accepted, but as a quiet acknowledgement of your presence. Crossing the threshold feels natural, like stepping into a familiar room after dusk. There is no change in temperature that demands attention, only a gentle sense of being enclosed and protected. Inside, the air is still and calm. The walls hold warmth gathered slowly over time. Light glows softly along the corridors, not bright enough to distract, not dim enough to strain the eyes. It pools gently on the stone floors, creating a path that seems to guide itself. You move through the castle at an unhurried pace. There is no map to follow, no destination to reach. Doors stand quietly to either side, their details softened by the low light. Tapestries hang in places, their colors muted and restful, telling stories that no longer need to be read. Your footsteps make little sound here. Even the echo feels subdued, absorbed by thick walls and long hallways. The castle seems to understand the need for quiet, offering it freely without asking anything in return. As you wander, you may notice the presence of a fire somewhere nearby. You do not need to see it directly to feel its warmth. It radiates gently through the stone, creating a sense of comfort that spreads slowly, like warmth seeping into chilled hands. There is no sense of time passing within these walls. The idea of hours and minutes feels distant, unnecessary. This place exists outside of schedules and expectations. It simply is steady and patient, allowing you to rest within its calm. You come upon a room that feels particularly welcoming. Perhaps it is a library, lined with shelves that rise toward the ceiling. Or perhaps it is a sitting room, where chairs are arranged thoughtfully around the quiet glow of a hearth. The details do not matter. What matters is the feeling of ease that settles over you as you enter. You take a seat without effort, as though the room has been waiting for you to arrive. The chair supports you comfortably, fitting your body without needing adjustment. Nearby, a small table holds a cup of something warm, sending a faint, soothing aroma into the air. As you sit, your body responds by releasing even more. Muscles soften further. Breathing deepens slightly, finding a rhythm that feels unforced and natural. The calm of the space seems to communicate directly with your body, reassuring it that nothing is required. A quiet presence moves through the room, perhaps the soft patting of a cat settling near the fire, or the gentle shift of air as the flames flicker. These small movements do not interrupt the stillness. They belong to it, adding subtle texture without asking for attention. Your thoughts, now few and far between, drift easily. When one appears, it passes through like mist through an open doorway, leaving no trace behind. There is no need to hold on to any idea. Everything that matters has already been taken care of. The castle continues to hold its quiet vigil around you. Stone walls stand firm and reassuring. Light remains steady. Warmth stays close. It is easy here to forget the edges of the day, to let go of any sense of before or after. In this wide, calm interior, awareness can rest deeply. It does not need to stay alert or engaged. It simply settles like a candle flame protected from the wind. The sense of space around you remains, but now it feels shaped by something simple and steady, as though the night itself has settled into a rhythm it knows well. Without needing to think about how it happened, you find yourself near the coast, where land meets water in a slow and familiar conversation. The air here carries the softness of the sea. It is cool but not sharp, and it moves gently across your skin, carrying with it the faint scent of salt and damp stone. The sound of waves reaches you quietly, their movement calm and unhurried, rising and falling in a pattern that feels reassuring rather than restless. Ahead, standing with quiet confidence, is a lighthouse. It does not tower or demand attention. Instead, it feels grounded and patient, as though it has been here for a very long time and expects to remain. Its surface is smooth from years of weather, its shape simple and dependable. You approach without hurry. The path beneath your feet is familiar, worn gently by many calm footsteps over time. Each step requires no thought. Your body moves easily, guided by the same steady pace that has been carrying you through the night. As you enter the lighthouse, the sound of the sea softens, filtered through thick walls that hold warmth and quiet inside. The interior feels safe and contained, a place designed not for excitement but for constancy. Light glows softly, not bright or harsh, but warm and steady, like a presence that keeps watch without effort. There is work to be done here, but it is the kind of work that soothes rather than demands. Simple actions, repeated gently, create a sense of order and ease. You move through them without planning, as though your hands already know what to do. You check the light, not with concern but with familiarity. It burns steadily, its glow calm and unwavering. You tend to it with small, careful movements, adjusting nothing more than is needed. There is no rush. The light has all the time it requires. As you move, your breathing remains slow and natural. Inhale and exhale follow one another like waves meeting the shore, each one complete on its own. The body responds to this steady rhythm by releasing even more, settling deeper into comfort. The lighthouse feels alive in a quiet way. The stone beneath your hands is cool and solid. The wooden steps are smooth and reassuring. Everything here has been shaped for a purpose, and that purpose feels gentle and kind. You climb the stairs at an easy pace, one step at a time without counting or tracking progress. The movement itself is enough. With each step, there is a subtle sense of heaviness leaving the body, replaced by a grounded calm. At the top you pause not because you need to, but because it feels natural to do so. You look out through the glass, where the light moves slowly across the water, sweeping the surface in a calm, predictable pattern. It does not search. It does not rush. It simply offers its presence, steady and reliable. The sea responds quietly, reflecting the light in soft fragments that shimmer and fade. There is no drama here, only the gentle meeting of elements that understand one another well. You take a seat nearby, allowing your body to rest. The chair supports you easily, and the warmth of the space settles around you. There is nothing more to check, nothing more to prepare. Everything is as it should be. A sense of satisfaction arises, not from accomplishment, but from knowing that things are cared for. The light is burning. The night is calm. You are exactly where you need to be. Your thoughts, now very light, drift in and out without forming complete shapes. They feel like passing clouds, visible for a moment before dissolving back into the sky. There is no need to follow them. They take care of themselves. The repetition of the evening continues quietly. The light turns. The sea moves. The air flows gently. These simple patterns create a kind of lullaby, one that does not rely on sound alone, but on the steady assurance that nothing unexpected will happen here. As you remain in this space, your awareness begins to soften further. The edges of the room blur slightly, not in a way that feels disorienting, but in a way that feels kind. Details become less important. What remains is a sense of safety and continuity. You may notice moments when your attention drifts completely, only to return gently without effort. This is a natural rhythm, like breathing or blinking, and it does not need correction. The lighthouse continues its quiet work, holding the night with steady light. And as it does, you are free to rest more deeply, knowing that everything around you is settled and secure. The sea, the stone, the light, and the calm all remain in place, forming a gentle backdrop as the night carries on, inviting you to drift further into rest, supported by this simple and steady presence.